You were not born to be average. Somewhere deep inside you know that. You feel it when you wake up in the morning with a fire in your chest, when you see someone living their dream and something inside you whispers, "That could be me." You weren't meant to just exist. You were meant to rise, to lead, to push beyond the limits set by people who quit before they even tried. Average is easy, it's comfortable, it doesn't demand much, but comfort is the enemy of greatness. If you want to stop being average, you have to make a decision right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. That you're done living life on autopilot, you're done showing up halfway, you're done giving 70% and expecting 100% results. It starts with your mindset. You have to believe that extraordinary is possible for you, not because you were born with some special gift, but because you're willing to grind when it's hard, because you're willing to show up when nobody's watching. Because you're willing to do what most won't, so you can live how most never will, you have to raise your standard, stop comparing yourself to people who are barely trying, stop measuring your success by what average people think is impressive. Your competition isn't them. Your competition is the version of you that you said you'd be last year and never became. You want to stop being average, then outwork that version of yourself. You've got to be obsessed. Obsessed with your craft, obsessed with your growth, obsessed with becoming the person you know you're capable of being. The difference between average and phenomenal is obsession. It's not about being the smartest. It's not about being the most talented, it's about being the most consistent, the most disciplined, the most relentless, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to feel like giving up. You're going to have days where you question everything. But on those days, you remember why you started. You remember that average is a lie the world tells you to make you feel safe, and you remember that you were born to break that lie, so no more waiting. No more excuses, no more blaming the past. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to stop being average and never look back. Average is not something we're born into, it's something we settle for. Every person has potential, but not everyone is willing to tap into it. The truth is, we all start with the same raw materials, time, energy, choices. What separates those who rise from those who remain average is the decision to expect more from themselves. People talk about talent, luck, or connections, but none of that matters if you've already accepted a life of mediocrity in your mind. The decision to be average doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly in the quiet moments when you choose comfort over effort, excuses over action, and fear over progress. No one wakes up and says, "I want to live a life that's forgettable," but it happens every day. People fall into routines, they stop challenging themselves, they start listening to the voice that says, "This is good enough," and eventually that voice becomes the only one they hear. They ignore that fire inside, the part of them that knows they were made for more, because chasing greatness is uncomfortable, it demands sacrifice, it demands discipline, and most people aren't willing to pay the price. But here's the truth, average is easy. It asks for nothing and gives you very little in return. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. The longer you stay in that space, the harder it becomes to break out of it. That's why it has to be a conscious decision to reject average. Every day you wake up and choose, will I rise or will I coast? Will I do the hard thing that brings me closer to who I'm meant to be, or will I do what's familiar and easy? It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than the version of you that would have chosen to stay stuck. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to stop lying to yourself about what you're capable of. Stop pretending like you don't care when you know deep down you do. You want more. You dream about more. So why settle for less? You've got one life. One shot. Don't waste it living at half your potential. Don't look back years from now and realize you were always capable, but you chose average because it was easier. Every day is a chance to make a different choice. A stronger choice, a bolder one. One that says, I refuse to be average. Not today, not ever. That's where greatness begins, not in the moment of achievement, but in the moment of decision. Comfort is seductive. It whispers promises of safety, of ease, of rest. It tells you that you're fine right where you are, that you don't need to push any harder, that maybe you've already done enough. And for a lot of people, that voice is convincing. It's soothing, it makes you feel good in the moment, but what comfort doesn't tell you is that it comes with a cost. The price of comfort is growth. The price of comfort is potential. The price of comfort is that you wake up one day and realize you traded who you could have become for who it was easiest to be. Greatness doesn't live in the comfort zone. It lives in the struggle, the stretch, the discomfort of doing what's hard when you don't feel like it. Comfort will tell you to sleep in. Greatness tells you to get up and put in the work. Comfort tells you to take a break. Greatness tells you to push one more round, one more rep, one more try. Comfort wants you to quit when things get difficult. Greatness demands that you keep going, especially when it's hard. We grow through resistance, just like muscles grow when they're pushed past their limits. That same principle applies to life. If you're always choosing what's easy, what's convenient, you're not building anything that lasts. You're not becoming stronger, you're just maintaining, and maintenance doesn't create transformation. Growth is supposed to feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you, challenge you, make you question if you can keep going, and then teach you that you can. Think about it. Every person who has ever done something great had to step into discomfort, whether it was starting a business, chasing a dream, reinventing themselves, or standing up when it would have been easier to stay quiet. They all had to step away from comfort. And they didn't do it once. They did it over and over again, even when they were scared, even when they were tired, even when they didn't know what would happen next. That's what separates them, not talent, not luck, just the willingness to embrace discomfort as part of the process. If you want to break free from average, you have to stop treating comfort like it's your friend. It's not. It's a trap dressed as peace. It holds you back and convinces you it's helping, but all it's doing is keeping you small, quiet, and still. So if you feel resistance, lean into it. If it scares you, go after it. If it's hard, do it anyway. That's where your next level lies. Not in the soft spaces where everything is predictable, but in the wild, uncomfortable, uncertain places where you find out what you're really made of. Everything begins in the mind. The way you see yourself, your potential, your obstacles, it's all shaped by your mindset. If you believe you're average, you'll act like you're average. If you think you're stuck, you'll stop trying. But if you choose to believe that you're capable of more, even when you don't yet see the results, then you unlock a different level of drive, hunger, and commitment. Mindset is the foundation. It's the starting point of every transformation. You don't rise above the level of your mindset. You may have talent, skill, or even opportunity, but if your mindset isn't built to support growth, none of that will last. You'll sabotage your own success without even realizing it. You'll shrink back when you should be stepping forward. That's why shifting your mindset isn't optional, it's essential. You have to train your thoughts the same way you train your body, intentionally and consistently. It starts by replacing doubt with belief, not blind optimism, but the deep, grounded belief that you are capable of change and worthy of success. That belief isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. You build it by keeping your promises to yourself. You build it by showing up even when you're tired. You build it by doing hard things and proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. The problem is, most people don't realize how powerful their thoughts are. They speak negativity over their own lives every day. I'm not good enough. I'll never be successful. People like me don't get that far. Those words become patterns, and those patterns become reality. If you want to stop being average, you have to take responsibility for what you allow into your mind. You have to guard your thoughts like your life depends on it, because it does. You also have to feed your mind with the right fuel. That means reading things that challenge you, listening to voices that push you, surrounding yourself with people who want more out of life. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you think. If everyone around you is comfortable with mediocrity, it becomes easy to settle. But when you surround yourself with ambition, with vision, with people who are constantly leveling up, it forces you to rise with them. Changing your mindset doesn't mean you'll never have fear or doubt. It means you learn how to move forward anyway. It means you reframe every failure as a lesson, not a loss. It means you stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start acting with the belief that you'll figure it out as you go. That's what separates the people who break free from average. They think differently, and because they think differently, they move differently. They see challenges as growth opportunities. They see struggle as a signal they're on the right path. And most importantly, they see themselves as capable, powerful, and worthy of building a life far beyond the ordinary. One of the biggest traps people fall into is measuring their progress by looking sideways, comparing themselves to others. They see someone else getting recognition, making money, achieving milestones, and they either feel inferior or get comfortable thinking, "At least I'm doing better than them." That kind of thinking is poison. The moment you start competing with other people, you lose focus on your own race. You weren't built to live someone else's story. You were built to master your own. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. The truth is, external competition can be misleading. You don't know the full story of someone else's success. You don't see their private struggles, their setbacks, their sacrifices. All you see is the highlight reel, and you're comparing it to your behind the scenes. That's never a fair fight, and even worse, it can make you settle. You tell yourself, "I'm doing better than most," and you stop pushing, but better than most is not the goal. The goal is asterisk better than you were asterisk. The goal is growth, not comparison. You want to stop being average, then stop looking sideways. Start looking inward. Who were you last year? What habits were holding you back 6 months ago? What thoughts were limiting you yesterday? That's your competition. Every day is a chance to outwork your former self, to outgrow your old excuses, to outperform your past mindset. That's the only scoreboard that matters. This internal competition isn't about pressure, it's about power. Because when you stop chasing someone else's success and start building your own lane, you take full control of your journey. You stop waiting for validation and start taking action. You start recognizing your progress, even if it's quiet, even if it's not flashy. You celebrate the fact that you're further today than you were a week ago, and you stay hungry because you know there's still more inside you. Think about it, the version of you who quit, who got distracted, who played small, do they deserve to win? Or does the version of you who keeps showing up, who keeps fighting, who keeps reaching deserve the victory? That's the person you're trying to beat, not your co-worker, not your friend, not that person on social media. Just you, your habits, your patterns, your discipline. And when you focus on beating that asterisk person every single day, you become unstoppable. So stop chasing crowds. Stop waiting to be noticed. Stop comparing your grind to someone else's. The goal is not to be the best out there. The goal is to be the best you can be. And when you win that internal battle day after day, average doesn't stand a chance. Obsession gets a bad reputation. People hear the word and think it means being unbalanced, reckless, or extreme. But when it comes to your goals, your growth, your purpose, obsession is the difference between average and phenomenal. It's not about losing yourself. It's about being so locked in, so focused, so deeply committed to your vision that nothing can pull you away from it. Obsession is what drives you to keep going when motivation fades. It's what makes you push when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, and when you feel like quitting. The truth is, talent is common. Plenty of people are naturally gifted. They've got skills, they've got potential, they've even got opportunities, but most of them never do anything great with it because they're not obsessed. They don't have the discipline to show up every day and grind through the boring parts. They don't have the fire to study, improve, and perfect their craft when it's not fun or convenient. That's what obsession gives you: consistency, and consistency is what builds greatness. If you're only working when you feel like it, you're not serious. If you only go hard when things are easy or exciting, you're still average. The people who rise to the top aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who show up every day, regardless of how they feel. They're obsessed with learning, with improving, with mastering every detail. They don't need external rewards to keep going. They're fueled by the vision they see when they close their eyes. Obsession means you stop making excuses. You don't have time, make time, you're tired, rest later, you're not getting results fast enough, keep going anyway. Obsession doesn't care about comfort, it thrives on the challenge. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions, it creates them. It doesn't need permission, approval, or applause, it runs on discipline and hunger. You want to stop being average, then stop treating your dreams like a hobby. Stop showing up halfway. Stop letting distractions pull you off course. Get obsessed. Think about it all the time. Plan around it. Wake up early for it. Stay up late for it. Protect it. Build your life around it, not the other way around, because the more energy, time, and attention you pour into your vision, the more real it becomes. People will tell you to calm down, to be realistic, to have balance, but balance doesn't build legacies, obsession does. It's what makes you sharper. It's what separates you from everyone who's just interested. Interest is passive. Obsession is active. Interest fades. Obsession finishes. And if you want to do something great, if you want to crush average and live a life that actually means something, you need to be obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. Every single day, excuses are the most dangerous thing you can hold on to when you're trying to level up. They're comforting, they sound logical, and they let you off the hook, but they don't build anything. They don't create change, and they sure as hell don't build legacies. Every time you make an excuse, you give away your power. You tell the world, I could have done something great, but I chose not to take full responsibility. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a product of your decisions. And as long as you keep blaming your past, your situation, or other people, you'll stay exactly where you are. You have to stop making room for excuses in your life. They sound like, I don't have time, I don't know how, I'm too tired, I've failed before. All of them are stories, stories you've told yourself so often that you believe them, but they're not facts. They're choices, and every time you choose an excuse, you're choosing average. You're choosing to stay small, to repeat the same patterns, to waste the potential that's still sitting inside you. There comes a point where you have to draw the line, where you stop negotiating with your old self, where you stop defending your comfort zone, because the truth is, no one is coming to push you, no one is coming to fix it for you. It's on asterisk, you asterisk, your effort, your focus, your choices. You don't need perfect conditions, you don't need everything figured out. You just need to get honest with yourself and take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. Every step forward is one more brick in the legacy you're building. Your future is not written yet. It's wide open, but every excuse you make today is a step away from it. Every excuse you let slide is a moment you'll wish you had back later. And when it's all said and done, it won't be the challenges that stop you, it'll be the moments you chose not to try. So stop waiting, stop blaming, stop settling. This is your time. This is your moment to decide that enough is enough, that you're done living on autopilot, that you're done living average, thinking average, giving average effort. Starting today, you move different, you think different, you grind different, because you finally understand what's at stake. Your life, your potential, your legacy. No more excuses, no more distractions, no more hiding. You were born for more, so go get it.